What's good? What's good? It's the one and only, but what do I know? Boxing coming back at y'all with another one, man. So if you hear my daughter in the background, I'm giving her a bath right now. But I had to do a video on Shakur Stevenson. We got Shakur Stevenson in the news today, and he has a few things to say. First and foremost, actually they're talking about, this is just a rumor, but it's a rumor fight on the horizon. Just a rumor. It's in talks. Nothing has been confirmed. Nothing has been, signed hard. Nothing, but just in talk. So I'm gonna go ahead and read that article, and then I'm also talk about some issues that Shakur feels like is going on in the state of boxing. All right. So you guys stay tuned. You know how I do it. Let's go ahead and get into it. So shout out to Boxing News 24. It says Shakur Stevenson versus Joe Cordina in early discussions. Okay. So it says promoter Eddie Hearn revealed that he has talks with Joe Cordina about him moving up to challenge to 135 to challenge Shakur Stevenson for his WBC lightweight title. Hearn says it is just in the discussion stage. Shakur says his original target is WBC ranked number one fighter William Zepeda wants to push the fight to February, and he doesn't want to wait that long. Zepeda and his promoter Oscar De La Hoya want the fight to be on the same card as Terrence Crawford versus Virgil Ortiz in February in Riyadh. Now, I'm not gonna lie, that I see where De La Hoya is going with that, and that would be a good idea. But when was the last time Shakur fought? He fought, what's his name? He just fought a few months back. So yeah, I can understand why Shakur wouldn't want to wait that long. But anyways, if Hearn is going to sign the free agent Shakur to his matchroom company, offering him Cordina would be a nice gesture on his part. It will be a low risk and help Hearn build Shakur as a star in the UK, because the US audience has been unappreciative of his fighting style. Shakur's fighting style might be the right cup of tea for the British audience. Cordina, who has the record of 17-1 with 9 knockouts, recently lost his IBF super featherweight title to Anthony I don't even pronounce his last name, by an 8th round knockout on May 18th on a one-sided fight. On many levels, Cordina, who is 32, wouldn't be an ideal challenge for the highly skilled and defensive artist like Shakur Stevenson, who has the record of 22-0 with 10 knockouts. Cordina is ranked number 13 in the WBC. On the positive side, Shakur can't punch, so Cordina wouldn't be at risk of getting knocked out by him. But if Cordina power carries up to 135, well, I mean, if he's not really knocking out anything, he has a 50% ratio, like knockout ratio. That's not really, good. Or not, I'm not gonna say it's not good, but it's not too threatening. If he ain't knocking out anybody at 130, I'm not keen on him, unless if he's been draining himself. I'm not keen on him knocking out anybody, especially somebody like Shakur at 135. But anyway, Shakur could be in for a long night. He might have to get on his bike and keep from getting clipped. I've spoken to Joe Cordina about fighting Shakur Stevenson. Joe is up for it, but he also understands the challenge, said Eddie Hearn to Boxing News about former IBF featherweight champion. Joe Cordina potentially challenges Shakur Stevenson for his WBC title. Ideally, moving up a weight division, you probably want an easier fight than Shakur, but Joe is at the age where he wants to be involved in the biggest fights in the sports, and he feels this opportunity is right. I'm sure he'll take it, but nothing close yet, just discussions, said Hearn. Cordina would be foolish to turn down a title shot against Shakur and offered, because he is too old to work his way up in the lightweight rankings to earn a shot. He likely wouldn't do well if he fought some of the contenders in the WBC rankings like Andy Cruz, Keyshawn Davis, Edwin De Los Santos, and Mark Chamberlain. That's very true. But I'm not a fan. I've never been a fan of a fighter losing a fight and then being able to fight for a title. I've never been a fan, but it's happened a lot. Adrian Broner lost to Sean Porter, and his next fight was a title. AB fought Sean Porter at quote-unquote welterweight, but it was at a catchweight of 144. Who else? Somebody recently just fought for a title after coming from a loss. So I can't think of it off the top, but that was just the first fight that I thought of off the top of the head. But I'm not a fan of it, but whatever, bro. If they make it, whatever. Now, for y'all that don't know, I'm not surprised. Obviously, we feel like Shakur fighting Joe Cordina is a step backwards. But I get why they're trying to do it. For y'all, I'm sorry, y'all. That's my daughter in the background over here doing crazy stuff. But for y'all that don't know, like normally when a fighter is signed to a new promoter, a promoter is gonna do their best to try to put them in with a fighter that's gonna make them look good. So Joe Cordina, like he's not a threat. So they feel like Shakur can possibly look very good, or at least he doesn't perceive to be a threat. And they feel like Shakur could look good against him, which would help his fan base, at least like the article said in the UK. Now the UK definitely has a very good following. They have a very good loyal fan base, and they're actually loyal to the sport or whatnot. So I get what Eddie Hearn is trying to do. It's not a fight that I really care for, and it's a fight. Listen. I want them to make the fight with Williams. I'm sorry, Mama. With Williams and Pater, but I also understand Shakur not wanting to wait that long. Bro, who wants to, he just fought in July, and he doesn't want to wait till February in order to get another fight or whatever, and that's understandable. So I can understand that. Now, I want you guys to hear what Shakur had to say about the state of boxing and where he feels like boxing is today with the fan base. Excuse me, guys, with the fan base and how black fighters are treated. All right, so definitely stay tuned and whatnot. And listen to what Shakur has to say. Let me go ahead and get into the article. Shout out to BoxingScene.com. It says Shakur Stevenson says young black guys are held to a different standard when it comes to entertaining in the ring. If anybody's going to understand the frustration of Shakur Stevenson in the aftermath of his WBC lightweight title defense against Artem, I never pronounced his last name right, but in July, it was going to be Andre Ward. Aside from the fact Stevenson considers Ward one of his mentors, there is also a clear parallel between the two in terms of how easy, I guess they mean to say how easy, in terms of how the ease with which they beat opponents leaves them susceptible to being labeled boring by those who like to see their boxers have to work a little harder for their wins. For some, seeing Stevenson cruise through to victory and elect not to risk defeat in order to secure a more complete victory, say a stoppage, has become a habit and pattern in which they wish he would break. Similarly, Ward, back when he was cleaning up both super middleweight and light heavyweight, would often face criticism for the way he would shut his opponents down to take away their best weapons and do all that he could to ensure his own safety, only too aware of the dangers of becoming greedy in a fight. If considered a mentor, it should come as no surprise then that Stevenson, like Ward, values his faculties and priorities winning over everything else. Cut from the same cloth, he again demonstrated his philosophy in his fight with Arthur and says, given the circumstances, the performance made sense, at least to him. Speaking to Ward on all the smoke fight, Stevenson explained, I haven't been outside the ring in that long in my entire life. It was 9 or 10 months. The first round was getting back in the rhythm, like I'm okay. Now the third round, I'm feeling it, and I started touching the body a little bit. Then I tried to pick up the pace, and I had it going. There was a moment where I felt like I had it. It was right there. But I kind of let it get away, and I felt like that was going to happen, and I felt like he was breaking down. But at the end of the day, these fighters are training extremely hard to come and fight. To come fight night, they're not going to give it, they're going to give it all they got. he gave it all he had and did what he could to make sure he stayed on his feet. I take my hat off to him. Though he won the fight well and landed a decision of scorecards of 116, 112, 118, 110, and 119, 109. The reaction to Stevenson's 22nd pro 22nd pro win had it feeling more like a defeat than a victory. The manner of it was clearly not to everyone's taste, and no sooner he had realized this than Stevenson started to wonder about the true meaning of victory and whether it is enough today to just win. Do you feel like it was warranted in the reaction to the fight, or do you feel like people are tripping? Asked Ward, to which Stevenson replied, I feel like people are tripping. I mean, I would get it if this applied to everybody. If those standards apply to Vasily Lomachenko or Alexander Usyk, I've seen them in fights where I didn't feel like it was very entertaining, but a lot of people didn't do to them what they did, what somebody did to me, what they do to me. When I'm in a fight where I'm dominating, pressing, coming forward, and they find something to say, but if Lomachenko, I don't hear nobody ever saying Lomachenko was being born when he fought Jose Pedraza. I didn't hear anything about him being born when he fought Guillermo Rigondeaux. He barely even touched Rigondeaux. Man, Rigondeaux pissed me off that fight though. But anyways, he barely landed punches on Rigondeaux, but nobody claims he was born. He was coming forward and making the fight, but I just feel like there are different standards on young black guys. I feel like our people need to learn how to stand with us and not play against us, because we're playing right to the people, saying no disrespect to nobody else. And you know what? I agree with Shakur 100% on here, and I am going to speak on this. Now, I mean, for y'all that don't understand what Shakur is saying, it's basically like a lot of America in general does this, man, where it seems like America is quick to give foreigners credit over our own country. Like, I'm gonna tell you something, you would never in your life go to the UK and see them root against their people. You'll never go to Mexico and see them root against their people. You'll never go to the Ukraine and see them root against their people. But America does. America roots against their own. They'll root for a foreigner over their own kind, and it seems like it happens with a lot of black fighters. Where Shakur even stated in an interview where he heard someone in the crowd say knock him out, art him, or whatever the case may be. But regardless, man, the thing is, bro, America is very quick to give foreigners to congratulate foreigners for things that our own fighters, our own black fighters have been doing. I remember when Triple G first came on the scene, man, like it seemed like everybody and their mama, like they were calling him the best fighter, the top 25 fighter of all time. And this is when dude was only like, this was like in 2015, you know what I'm saying? And it was just like, granted, yes, Triple G looked phenomenal or whatnot, but it's like, okay, everybody appreciated his style, but it's like, we got a knockout artist in Deontay Wilder, and they didn't like him because they said he wasn't skilled, he didn't have skills. We have Floyd Mayweather. They don't like Floyd Mayweather because Floyd Mayweather is they say he's cocky, he trash talks, but then the same people will cheer for Conor McGregor. You know what I'm saying? Or like, back Conor McGregor up. But it's just always something. Shakur, he's too boring. Oh, Devin Haney, he doesn't have knockout power. Or Terrence Crawford, he hasn't fought anybody. Errol Spence, he's like, it seems that like all of our like black fighters have to do 10 times extra just to get any notoriety, and that's where Shakur is coming from. And I've seen and I see it a lot, you know what I'm saying? So that's, and I'm backing what Shakur is saying on that. But luckily, for Shakur, you have channels like this, and if this offends anyone, if you want to unsubscribe to my channel, that's fine. I'd rather for you to hate me for who I am than to like me for who I'm not. I'm not finna sell my self short over a couple of dollars. No, I'm gonna speak my true opinion, and that's that. If you disagree, you're more than welcome to unsubscribe from my channel. All right, but anyways, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. But what do I know?